I am Kate. I am a destination wedding and elopement photographer. I am based out of Saskatchewan, Canada. Today I want to talk about camera gear. I recently just upgraded my camera bodies. To be honest with you, I am absolutely loving this whole setup that I've got going on. I wanted to take you through everything that I put in my camera bag, the camera bags that I use, the other gear that I'm using throughout the day. I am a straight Sony shooter. This is likely a little more preferable to those who actually shoot with Sony or are looking to get into Sony. I also really wanted to get into still motion, and so creating GIFs and animations through still frame rates. I had so much more capacity with that using Sony, and I ended up just loving the color grading. I loved the performance. If you have switched from Canon to Sony, I think that would be one of the first things that you notice is just how lightweight they are. I ended up switching to the Sony a7C. This honestly was one of, I felt like, my best investments going from one system to a complete different system. I use the Sony a7C now as my backup camera. This is one of my recent purchases, which is now my main body, my Sony a7 IV. I won't get into all of the details and specs of each product. Today is just about what I'm putting in my camera bag. If you guys would want to see a walkthrough for anything more specifically about any of these products, I'm happy to just let me know in the comments. But again, this is just going to be focused on what I'm putting in my camera bag. So backup camera, Sony a7C. Main body is the Sony a7 IV. Love this purchase. I use a off-camera flash. I use the Godox V860, and then I pop the diffuser on top. I love this bubble. This is a conversation piece. I usually make my way through the crowds with the bubble. Everyone loves it and everyone wants to touch it. It's just soft and super easy to pack in your bag, but it gives the softest glow. It helps me really work with that direct flash, but still with a little bit of diffusion, which I prefer for editing and post-production, depending on the style I'm going for, but that's typically my jam. I like that. I'm gonna get into my lenses. The Sony ProMaster 35mm. Love this prime lens. Chef's kiss. I did utilize this primarily as my main and only lens at every single wedding for the last 6 years. Got a different lens and now we use that as a primary is because I started doing a lot more adventure elopements. I found myself on mountaintops, on these hikes with these just such drastic landscapes that I really wanted to have a little bit more range without needing to take a 30-minute hike to go from spot A to spot B to get them at shot C. You know what I'm saying? I ended up purchasing the Sony G Master 24-70. This is my baby, and I do find myself using it, even just switching down to the 35 or the 50 throughout my sessions that aren't on mountaintop. The Sony G Master 24-70 is now my primary. I don't think I'll ever go anywhere without it. It is a little bit heavy, and that's my only thing, and I noticed it mostly in my camera bag. I travel a lot for my sessions, so when I do travel, it honestly feels like an extra couple of pounds, even though I know it's not, but it's just holds you down a little bit. Other things that I'm going to take in my camera bag are my extra batteries, one for my phone. I do a ton of behind the scenes videos and just checking my notes and checking my schedule and things like that. My camera cannot die. I'm usually traveling, and so I want to be able to have some form of communication on my way back home or back to my Airbnb. There's so many different kinds. Get whatever you fancy. Honestly, will charge my phone probably 3 times full. It does work for my MacBook, but I find it slows it down when I plug it in, so I don't like to do that. In terms of batteries, the Sony a7C and the Sony a7 IV both use the same batteries. Thankfully, I didn't have to change anything when I upgraded my bodies, but I always have 4 battery packs on me, 4 extra batteries. Call me crazy, but it's an investment. You do need a few. I don't think I would recommend 4. I don't think that's necessary. If you really want to play it safe, that's in my game card. I would recommend to have at least 2 extra batteries on you though. In terms of memory card storage, I love the ProMaster rugged case. For memory cards, I typically stick to the SanDisk. I'm not married to it. It's just the ones that have never failed me, so when I'm going to repurchase, that's usually what I'm grabbing. And I do use a variety of storage capacity and speed capacity. If I work with a second shooter, I'm typically providing them memory cards as well, but I like to have at least 5 extra on me. Honestly, I've never really had horrible luck with any of my gear yet. How do I carry my gear? I love my Rose Anvil strap. This is a single harness strap. It has saved me in terms of my neck and my back. it is important if you purchase one of these, this little extra safety strap, please use it. This is my reminder. This is me begging you from experience, please use this extra safety strap. It is so simple to use. I never really thought it was a big deal until this fell completely off of my camera. It had untwisted over time somehow. Now in terms of bags and what I'm carrying and how I'm packing, let's get into that. I've become completely obsessed with the Wandered collection and I use 2 different bags. This is my go-to. This is my Wandered Rogue Sling. It's the 6-liter size and I could not do my job without this camera bag. When I'm actually shooting the wedding and out with my clients and my couples, this is always on my body and this always has my backup camera, batteries, it's got my memory cards. I usually just keep my flash, my personal necessities in my bigger Wandered backpack. This is a 35-liter backpack, so it did come with the smaller packing cube. There are some bigger options, but this works really great for me. So most of my gear I actually put in some sort of like protective shell or protective casing. A lot of it that you purchase usually comes with something. In the cube, I just usually put my camera bodies as well as my lenses. My A7C is gonna hang out here. My Sony A7 IV JJC like camera gear casing. I got it from Amazon. I would recommend you get something. This is honestly just kind of out of the safety of traveling so often. I'd like to have them extra protected, but it sticks in there and it does fit in the smaller case, as well as my lens. My 24-70 lens came with this gorgeous little casing. Love this. Stick that baby in there. I always do big side down, and that fits in here perfectly as well. Also stick my 35mm in a little Canon camera body case that I have. For travel purposes, I actually use an old JBL Beats case, and this just is a little hard shell. This was my baby, still is. Love this lens so much, so if anything were to happen to it, if it gets squished when you're traveling, this is just extra protection. So that guy goes up here, stick that on the side there. I put my flash down here, and this is the little space for my like personal items bag, which I love. Show you all the little hidden pockets and gems with this because this bag is unbelievable. When you initially open it, you've got these little pockets. This opens up. This opens up, got a little extra space in here. There are ways to link this so you can easily open up the side zipper here and access into this bag, but I just don't prefer it. I'm not in and out of this bag as my primary throughout the day. The 6-liter Rogue Sling is always just on my body, and this has all my extra batteries, memory cards, bodies. This is what I'm going to dig into if I'm switching venues, if I'm traveling from one spot to another. I have so many different exterior pockets and different zippers and compartments that I can store so much more in, including my laptop, my power banks. Highly recommended. Love you. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you made it this far, I hope you learned something. If you have any questions that I've left unanswered for you or topics that you'd like me to get more into, this is like what I love to do. So please let me know. Engage with this video so it can reach more people. Share it with your friends. If you engage from the bottom up, this will majorly help me and help me just grow my platform, grow this community, and allow me to land in a lot more of other creatives and aspiring photographers' laps so they can build a dream life and the dream career that I've been working so hard to do over the last 7 years. Thank you guys so much. Stay tuned for more.